my name is Payton, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my art journey, starting with my formal classes when I was growing up, as well as watching YouTube and doing online classes. My first formal art class was at Master's School of Art. I took a Drawing 101 class. I learned figure drawing and basic drawing skills such as drawing hands and values and shapes. They taught us a lot using the grid method, which I had a hard time understanding and learning from, and I just really didn't end up learning that much from that class. My second formal art class was with Lori Ryland. She's a well-renowned artist in the Pacific Northwest area. My sister and I took several classes with her, and we learned acrylics, paint pens, but I mostly enjoyed learning how to use pastels. That's where I first started using them. I really got hooked after that. I loved how blendable they were and just generally easy to use. We also were in our first art show, and that was so much fun. Lastly, I went to Mount Hood Community College and I took several classes there: Drawing 101, printmaking, calligraphy, and Photoshop. Drawing 101 was a huge impact. I learned so much about values, depth, shading. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but this class finally taught me how to break out of that, as we had to do pieces in a short amount of time. They were timed to like a half an hour or an hour, and that made me break out of that mold of spending hours just going over the same spot, trying to make it the perfect size, perfect length. Printmaking was also one of my favorite classes to do there. It might have been the favorite class I did, but I haven't really taken those skills outside of that class. I just don't have time for more mediums, unfortunately. My self-taught journey consisted mostly of watching Lacree Fine Art on YouTube. I will also link her down below, and watching classes from thevirtualassistant.com. From watching videos from both of those sites, I became obsessed with colored pencil. It started out really, really badly. Paige can attest to that.
I hated all of her early colored pencil work, but like she was too proud of it for me to be mean about, so I was really nice about it, wasn't I? Yeah. But
sometimes your expression maybe says a little, but it was okay.
Oops.
In addition to watching those videos, I also became obsessed with the Colored Pencil podcast and was listening to that all the time. I always had my earbuds in wherever we went. Even on vacation, I was still listening to the podcast, still bringing my colored pencils with me. In regards to pastel, I more recently came back to learning pastels because I had remembered how much I enjoyed them when I took Lori's class. But I used oil pastels in that class, and I switched over to soft pastels, mostly using pastel pencils. And I started watching Jason Morgan's YouTube. I will also link that down below. I didn't really watch that many of his videos. I just watched a couple, and I did like one tutorial, and then I just kind of kept messing around with it on my own from there, and kind of taking my skills from colored pencil and putting it in with the pastels, or even combining them in the same piece. I also learned scratchboard in the last couple years, but I will talk about that in another video because that's a whole separate spiel. New videos every Monday. Like and subscribe.